All right, we're going to Aorta. This video is going to be out of order. If you've played in some of my other games and you were looking forward to your VOD being posted, apologies, since no one has actually given me a request before, but one of the players in this has asked that I upload this and post it to Discord. So I'm gonna do that. And it's going to be a little out of order, which means that this video is presumably going to be, assuming I've learned anything, of course, a little higher quality than the videos coming after that, so don't think that I'm going down in quality over time, though I might be anyways. That has been requested by one Teleric, so we'll be keeping an eye on him and just really nitpicking every single thing that he does wrong, whether it's justifiable or not. Hey, more people liking the maps. I saw a couple, before I started this lobby, a couple of people playing Aorta with the lobby titled No More Pillars. So, real excited. I don't know if I contributed to that at all. I hope so. It's nice that people are experimenting with their maps. Oh, I'm very excited for a future in which you open up the lobby browser and it's full of not pillars. Pillars is a good map. Pillars is a fine map. I hosted a game on there earlier today, but there are more maps. Oh boy, I don't know who this belongs to, but it's gonna hurt someone with these 450s. Is that 450s on both sides? Nope, 450s on one side, 250s on the other. Okay. Same down here. And they have a pair of scouts. One AWR, one Bloodhound. Uh-oh. I keep saying uh-oh like a child. I don't know why. I can't stop. And it's just been today. This is a container ship with a whole lot of containers. Look like a whole bunch of different containers too, as well as some AMMs. Interesting. Immediately deactivating the radar and the comms, but I don't think that's going to help that much. Container ships are big. We've got a pair of Axford wannabes here, gunned up, PD'd out, and ready to get in a rumble. Jordan Jew. What is this? What is this? Who? I don't think this man went to space architecture school. So we got a Lyrebird, a container, and some guns on the backside, and then a mass driver, a 450, and a couple more T20s on the front side, or port and starboard, I guess. Presumably we've got the same thing up here. 2 mass drivers, 3 mass drivers, and a bullseye? No, pinpoint. Oh, that's going to have a hard time getting a lock, especially for the ranges you want to be fighting mass drivers with. This is the most cursed fleet I've seen today. Well, maybe not, actually. There was that Pillars match had a couple cursed fleets in it. Okay, what do we got on the ANS team? Just some frigates with some torpedoes or hybrids, maybe? Yeah, hybrids. With some support reins, guns, stonewalls, guns for finishers, stonewalls for defense, and a little bit of E-war and illuminator. Good luck with that. I've seen a few Simiacs today, and it hasn't gone well. Here we've got someone testing that assumption right now. That illuminator's firing. There's also a blanket that's firing. Oh no, that's a hang-up. It's a hang-up in a blanket. Okay. And what do you have inside of you? Wells and Cyclones. Was that 94 hybrids? No way. Okay, 24. That's a little more within the realm of possibility. Out of Gecko, Brandon. Gunned up Axfords. Very gunned up Axfords. Or, these aren't Axfords, these are Vauxhalls. A gunned up Axford with an escort Vauxhall and a frigate. Sat level slow burning to the target. We got a scout up here. Fighting Vauxhall with a backpack. A couple close escort frigates. This E-War and a dedicated naked scout. Nice for capping. That'll be good. Or, well, it might be good. I don't know if it will. Containers. Ooh, that doesn't quite reach all the way there. That's unfortunate. Really spooked the hell out of these tug captains, though. Oh, man, you really don't want to see that get that close. This container player is doing exactly what you need to do with containers. I'm happy to see this. These past few container matches, or matches that have container players in them, have not been doing this. They've been direct firing or just sending their missiles all the way across the map in open terrain without doing any sneaky beaky stuff. Although it looks like AMMs are going to be fired on top of this flak, and that'll handle these containers, but it may not be able to handle the next one or the one after that or the one after that. See, that's the thing about containers and AMMs. There are so many of them. These AMMs, even now, aren't going to be enough for this volley. That RPF will handle it, though. But there's a follow-up. Bum, bum. More AMMs coming out. These AMM stores have got to be low. AMMs are quite expensive. Oh, yeah. Just one left in that and 5 left in that. Not for long, though. AMMs, you really got to be using, really got to be judicious and use your AMMs on manual if you want them to do well. Otherwise, well, this happens. They get expended very quickly. Don't do that much. I mean, to be fair, you probably had to use the AMMs there because I don't think there's enough flak on this team to deal with container. And that's not true. Defenders coming out, and defenders will absolutely annihilate those big, fat, slow containers before they can get moved in. Yeah, they didn't need to fire those containers. The decoys probably wouldn't have helped, but containers didn't need to be, or AMMs didn't need to be fired to handle that. Okay, looks like we're getting to the part of the match where the points are getting taken. This hang-up is just sniffing around to ruin someone's day who has dared to park near a minefield. Unfortunately, I don't think the OSP team brought any mines to this match. Unless the container player who is over here, because it's on Team 1 for some reason, brought some mines. No. No mines on that team. Is that a Type 2? No. Mark 2. So that was a designer quirk. Hang-ups will be quite annoying, especially on these mass driver teams, preventing them from receiving the bullseye picture from the spotters here. And hangers do penetrate rocks. Illuminators don't. Radar jammers don't, but illuminators, or hang-ups do. Too many nouns in a short span of time. Of course, right now he's hanging up nothing. Yeah, get him. We've got this Vauxhall sneaking over the top of the map. Might be able to get the drop on this Delta team, although that would be bad news for the Vauxhall. Ocellos with 450s would obliterate a Vauxhall at close range. Doesn't have the chance to dodge like it would at long range. Offside scout. I don't think the OSP team knows this guy's over here. Otherwise, you'd be getting hammered by mass drivers right now. But if that EWR snakes just a little off target and catches that old guy, the Surveyor of Truth. That's a good name. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, he sees him. He's got to see him, right? There's no way. This is just outside that field of view. I don't think he sees him. He's looking for him because he knows that he's being seen by something. Active track's going down, and it's probably not anything this far away. It's got to be an offside scout, but that just doesn't quite get him. I don't think it might. More hang-ups. You don't want to be firing hang-ups at the spotter. Shit. Oh, these hang-ups are going into space. This is quite an E-War-centric game. I like it. We haven't been seeing that much E-War out just with how weird OSP has been. A lot of people aren't super confident in their E-War usage as OSP or against OSP because you have to play a little differently than you do ANS versus ANS. And E-War is very complicated. It's important, but I think the complexity relative to the gains is just too steep of a demand on players right now, especially people who are new or returning to the game and who are getting used to the OSP update, which has been out for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I think 2 weeks. And yeah, it's got to be 2 weeks, maybe 2.5. And yeah, asking them to decoy eating a few missiles, good for that. Asking them to do that is a bit much. But it looks like some people are getting more used to the new way of playing the game. These missiles are going to hit this Axford. I don't think this Axford is canted right. Oh, but he's rotating. He's rotating. If he can get that. No, I'm not going to be able to rotate enough, unfortunately. And it's... Oh, there are 3 Auroras on this ship. So it doesn't matter how much you rotate, those containers are gonna hurt. This ship is not prepared for the container. This looks like an old style Axford. Speaking of returning players or new players, this is not what you want. Magazine's cooking off. I don't think it's gonna matter though. More containers directly to the midsection of that ship. Huge packaging, ordnance packaging on those containers if they can force Axfords to turn in place. And this thing is shut down. And it has several things going to explode. So that'll be fun to see here later. Unfortunately, I don't think anything's going to be caught by this. Those Ocellos might come around the corner and get blasted by it, depending on how long it takes. Decoys are doing a lot of work. I'm not entirely sure who fired these decoys, but they are eating illuminator attention. They're eating several hybrids. Look like 2. Could have been more while I was looking at that Axford. Now it looks like the Ocellos are content to stay here. Yeah, someone's realizing that that is the case. Well, at least he's realizing. Yeah, it's pretty funny spending several trillion space dollars or, 30 or 40 space points on what is a cargo container with a bunch of radio systems inside of it, which costs you around average $3 down at your local space Radio Shack, which is somehow still in business in the OSP side of the galaxy. More gunfire going into this Axford, which will only hasten its inevitable nuclear fusion, but it will waste. I don't know why when things are on the edge of my screen, they're really hard to click on. It's like you get within this pane area and you have to click on the pane. In fact, let's test that right now. Yep, that's exactly what it is. Within the like Y-axis. That's something that I should probably mention on the Discord. Yeah, that's actually something I really need to remember to mention to someone. And this video will also be proof of that. I forgot to set a timer, so I don't know how long we've been in this match. In general, though, it seems like this match is going quite quickly, especially with this container ship taking people out. The maneuvers are too tight for those containers, though. They're not going to be able to land any hits on these Vauxhalls, which is unfortunate. With that type of angling, probably could have gotten some good hits in. Even with the robust PD on this team, there's just no time for that point defense to act. Y'all need to burn away. Don't poke your noses up here. Oh, no. We got another round incoming. The question is, were these fired on the same trajectory? Yes, they were. That is the unfortunate price of firing your missiles like that. If one misses, the second's going to miss. No one's headed towards the center, really. Everyone's been content to stay out to the side and long volley each other. Jordan Ju over here alongside. I think Telerik is also on this side of the map. Oh, Telerik is driving in towards the middle. I stand corrected. This scout is still remains unseen, I think. Funny enough, that is, if that's a hang-up, that's very effective. But again, it looks like it's being pointed at scouting ships and not at firing ships. Hang-ups influence your reception of data, not your output. This Vauxhall has come down through the porthole and is engaging these Ocellos, and it appears to be losing quite soundly. Yeah, firing to the tops and fronts. This player has managed to correctly orient his Ocellos towards his opponent, which means those 250s aren't gonna do much. Yeah, we can see some rounds impacting, but it is just, look at that damage. That is pathetic. The 450s, on the other hand, against a Vauxhall at close range, Vauxhalls can often dodge 450s if they're burning hard, and the track isn't that good. But at close range, when you can get a lock on with a pinpoint and don't have to worry about your target dodging, it's going to just get eaten alive by those high calibers. Looks like some containers are hitting these ships. No, these containers must be hitting the wall. None of these ships are damaged. Looks like some soft kills going out with these chaff. Screens. And a lot of these are going to be going into the wall, maybe? A couple of them. If you getting beat out by chaff, oof. Not having EO hurts. But one gets through and clonks this Reigns right in the gut. That reactor's down and overloading. I don't know what the deal is with missiles, but they seem more likely than anything else to proc overloads. I'm not sure if that's a factor of their damage value, like higher damage. The more you overkill something, the more likely it is to get crits. I don't know. Unfortunately, a lot of these get through the point defense, but they get soft killed by the chaff. Don't sleep on the soft kill. As long as you don't get hit, that's a win. Problem is, soft kill is a little easier to overcome, but most people aren't willing to expend the points. He's firing absolutely everything at these ships, and he absolutely has to, because these direct firing on container ships, very powerful. They have almost no armor and very, very large components, which can be damaged with low health and can be damaged and destroyed quite effectively, which means yeah, you can't shoot missiles out of banks that are damaged or destroyed rather. Expert still hasn't gone nuclear. Couple shots going after these. Looks like one hit right in the middle of the ship. Magazine's on fire. Betrayal is still burning towards Alpha. Alright, Laddle's coming out. Yeah, I don't think anything's going to be... We're going to leave, because I don't think anything else is coming through here, and I have a feeling that this ship is... it's going to be shot to death. Cold launching, which is probably for the best in this situation. But, hot launch has a place. I don't think enough people experiment with that. How many more containers you got? Well, the bad news is he literally can't fire fast enough to get all his containers out. Yeah. Yeah, and I think this doesn't include the container banks that have been destroyed. So the answer is like a lot. That's almost 100. That might even be over 100. No, because some of those were AMMs. I think. Yeah, 42 of those are AMMs, so it's actually significantly less than I believed. I don't think these have enough fuel to catch these guys. Because we saw something like this happen earlier. Ooh. And AMMs are also going to be quite helpful. He's still firing containers down here. He's trying so hard to survive. It is not going to be enough. Looks like Telerik is taking Alpha. Sacmo. Logistics is king. Hell yeah, brother. Yeah, that is just so much PD coming out of Ace Goat's fleet. Defenders and... Oh, there goes the... No, that's not the Axford. That's a... that's the destroyer that was hidden by a container. Pretty recently. I'm surprised this hasn't gone up yet. Well, it's not... It's not gonna go up. I don't know if it went up earlier. No, I would have heard it. I don't know what happened. This Vauxhall has unsurprisingly been consumed by the wrath of the Ocello. And these Ocellos have not taken... Yeah, not really taken that much damage. And they can get some backfire onto these ships. If they can disrupt the point defense of these Vauxhalls, could be a huge problem. In fact, yeah, good. He's using his radar and hopefully using his comms to give the Ocellos a good picture. And backlining fleet is still backlining. Haven't seen too much more coming out of this guy. Well, and be effectual, that is. Looks like there's a bullseye. There's 2 bullseyes coming down here, though those are going to have to cant down some if they really want to maintain the angle as the Vauxhalls slip more over to the Echo side of the map. In general, blue team's doing well, but a huge amount of their power is in that container ship, especially when it comes to finishing power. And that container ship, I don't think is going to be around for much longer, especially with the drive out. That's a big problem. That thing just couldn't quite make it around that rock. Still has reactors, can still fire the missiles, but I don't think it's going to be enough. These Vauxhalls are having to duck behind cover here. Ooh, man. Just some very close misses. 450 is pretty good, though. It's been such a just infinite barrage of containers. Instead of the one upside to using those Actrads is they're dirt cheap. H2's coming in on the scouting team. Are some of those containers getting through that BD net? I think so. Alright, we're gonna see this get annihilated. No, few get through. Ooh, one's able to land. And 2's able to land, both on the nose of this line ship, which is not where you want to be hitting line ships. Gunplodding centers damage, that's unfortunate, but not the end of the world. These... How much more munitions do we have for this PD? Wow. 80% of the defender ammo. One of these Vauxhalls. All of the defender ammo on another one of these Vauxhalls. That's a big problem, because these containers show no sign of stopping anytime soon. Case can't quite get finished off here. Or, Case is just a stag. Sacmo isn't quite finished off here, and if those containers outlast the point defense munition, then these Vauxhalls are done. Although if those containers slam into the rock above the Vauxhalls, that's not really going to matter now, is it? And that's exactly what's happening. Unfortunate. I'm glad to see someone finally using the little underpass between Charlie, Echo, and Bravo. I really like this little thing right here. Oh, this isn't... There are 2 of these. I didn't even know about this. Okay, so there's one that goes Echo to Team 2's spawn, and then there's another that goes from Charlie to Team 1's spawn. See, I thought it was these 2 were connected. I didn't know there was a dedicated one. I'm the one hosting this map, and I'm learning new stuff. Man, it looks like all these... He's not fixing the queuing on his containers. They're just going off into space. Huge wastage. Very unfortunate. Sprinter's gonna get a sneaky cap coming through this Bravo Delta passageway here. So many little sneaky quiet areas, and it's really hard to play on this map because it's impossible to know who the hell is where with how limited radar coverage can be with all this rock cover in the way, unless everyone on every side is pushing hard. And I think this is running, yeah, this is running in stealth mode. So, not even 2 square kilometers of radar signature means that's going to show up with about the same read distance as a missile. You got to be close. But once he starts capping, that's going to alert the whole OSP team. One missile's being wasted. Real sad, those Ocellos are burning down there to start causing trouble. And we have this brave Rains might be heading towards Alpha in a slightly roundabout way. It's still anyone's game at this point. Team 1 is certainly up on points and on caps. But if Team 2 can be sneaky about it and get up on caps like the sprinter's doing around Dagger, okay, that's going to be... Everyone's going to be notified that that's happening. Let's see what these Ocellos do. Now they smell blood. It's time to kill. There's no time to back off. Or maybe there is. It's hard to tell which direction ships are accelerating towards sometimes, because random thrusters will fire off, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're changing direction. Jim Bridger. Rock of the Butt. I know it's pronounced Butte, and I don't care. Rock of the Butt is far more entertaining to me. That Vauxhall exploded. Might have roasted this ship. No, the sprinter managed to stay out of range. That's good. For red team. I like the Digimon emblem here. It's, it belongs to Joe. I don't remember what thingy it was. It's been like 15 years since I've seen a single episode of Digimon, so... Wow, that's weird. Anyways, memory's a hell of a drug. These Rains are getting beat up by those Vauxhalls, or by those Ocellos, and these Vauxhalls are about to also be beat up by them. You better start shooting. Yeah, that gun, that top turret's turning, and it looks like these Vauxhalls are trying to rotate to get an angle. Oh, they're shooting at something. Oh, no, they were probably reloading, is what was happening there. You really want AP. Suboptimal. Yeah, you only took out... Well, you got hard countered. I don't know if I'd consider hard countered suboptimal. I mean, taking out an Axford is kind of a big fucking deal. Huh? It's gone. It disappeared. I guess it did explode. And I just whooshed it. Oh well. Yeah, plus diverting the Vauxhall attention to him for a extended period of time somehow managed to survive all of that. I think these Vauxhalls are gonna wind up shooting each other if they keep turning like this. Oh yeah. That is the problem with, yep, there's a hit. That is the problem with tight formations, is this will happen if you're not super careful. Oh, he sees it, he sees it. Using flank to get ahead and having this one stop motion, or break, I guess, is the correct way to phrase that. Ocello's under attack from these Rains. I don't think these Rains, yeah, they're firing RPF. That's not going to do anything to an Ocello. Especially not on the front. Although the reactor is down? No, yard drive is down. God, 3 drives in this thing. How do you have the power? How do you have the power for 2 sources? Even with a microreactor. I think 2 microreactors? Yeah, 2 microreactors. How in the world do you possibly have the power? 2 plant control center? Well, there it is. The things people do with their ships amaze me. It really does. Alright, who else is doing? We got fight coming over here. Ah, no, you're just launching missiles. We've got Telerik has moved off of the main point and is looping around to assist on these Vauxhalls. I don't think there was that much gunfire going on up there. No, not particularly. That's good. I think these Ocellos, they're not exactly in trouble, but the more health they have, the better off they'll be. Which is really obvious and basic now that I say that out loud. I'm surprised they didn't try to engage these ships. It's because they're all small ships. The 450s definitely would have been wasted on that. Most of the fighting power is concentrated right here. Because these... Yeah, I mean, they can get some damage out, but not that much. I think that window has kind of passed. Not sure what Sandbag has been doing for a good chunk of the map. I mean, I've noticed missiles going out occasionally, but they tend to slam into rocks or just not have the fuel to go far enough. Which is a bit of a problem. Very unfortunate. Make sure you're cognizant of the range of your missiles, especially if you're using someone else's template pulled off of the shipyard channel in the Discord. Always check how much range you have. Because if you're trying to fight, if you're expecting them to perform at ranges they can't actually reach, and you won't do anything. You'll just, all your shots will explode before they get there. It looks like their scout is going to be downed, unfortunately. Well, that would be really good for the container ship or anyone with missiles, really. There's no more missiles coming out of this team unless, no, yeah. And those are ripostes. Those are ballistras. And those are, not gonna have the range for that. They're just gonna swoosh. Oh, no. Cleric's getting into view. The Vasco's fleet, and those 450s are opening up, which is a, oh, that looks cool. Which is a big problem for this guy. It's Vauxhall doesn't have enough thruster power to be dodging. I also think he's been locked. Yes, he has. Which means no dodging in the world is going to help you from that 8 batteries of 450 double-barreled casemates, which is a lot of bullets. I don't know how many exactly, but it's certainly enough to kill a yak. This Vauxhall is about all that remains for Red Team. They're up on caps, and they're closing the point gap. But it's, I don't think it's going to matter. You can't hold on to points with a handful of frigates with missiles that don't seem to have the range. Oh, a couple more lands. Well, one land anyways. One got through. 2 got through, but they just whooshed. I don't know, it's a ballistra from blue team. These two, blue being ANS and red being OSP. It gets confusing on opposite sides. But that's a me problem. Oh my, that is a lot of fire going into that Vauxhall. Going into that very dead Vauxhall. It's technically still alive, but I don't think for long. Reinforced CICs are pretty good, though. With those going out into these guys, it's not going to be enough. Yeah, it's... I don't understand. I don't think the missile guy does either. I'm sure he's experimenting with stuff, and it's just not really working out quite like he wants it to. That happens, and that's how you learn. Other 2 Vauxhalls, both Vauxhalls I should say, are down. It's already lifeboating. It's probably going to be lifeboating before too long. Which means it's going to be pretty obvious who to shoot. These poor little Rains do not have the firepower or the armor to stand up to even one of these Ocellos, I think. Yeah, Mark 62s are not going to cut it. Even as damaged as these Ocellos are, that is simply not enough firepower. Another blast of those casemates. Looks like they don't have a very good track picture, but... Oh, there it is. I stand corrected. Track picture just got cleaned up by a lock. And that's a dead Rains. About to be joined in the afterlife by another Rains frigate. And there are a few sprinters over here. See, if these sprinters were like trying to cap instead of trying to stand off and do weird things with missiles that aren't, well, not even weird. They're just firing from extremely far away, which doesn't really do anything. Yeah, well, you might consider that missiles are I think smaller than a meter, and the profile they present is significantly smaller than a meter, because missiles coming your direction are, I mean, they're going to be, you're only going to see them from the front, which means they're going to be very small. So yeah, that checks out. Also, if he's talking about Pavis, it's more of a problem. Flak is not intended to direct fire missiles. So I don't know what the complaint is. Also, yeah, that mostly no, he hasn't hit all of them. Just a lot of them missed because they're firing at targets that are too far away. They're coming up towards Delta. Yeah, the blue team is going to have to start capping and start capping now. Red team, all the military forces of the red team are, well, all the direct engage forces from the red team are down. It's all just sprinters with, what is this? Oh, right. It's all just missile boats. One Vauxhall, several sprinters, and it rains. But they're running low on munitions, and in general, those munitions haven't been that effective. Although I think they're gonna kill this Ocello. Terminal maneuvers on sprinters can really screw you if the sprinters don't have extremely high maneuverability in that sprint stage. Yeah, that's weave, and that's gonna just... Oh, 2 HEKPs directly into the center of this thing. Even 4 CIC still alive. Lots of birthing, though. All those poor posters and beds. That and other personal effects. Been quite annihilated. Here's a sprinter doing his best to maintain echo. But that's not going to last long. It's all being painted by an illuminator, but it doesn't look like there's that much left to go into this Ocello, missile-wise anyways. That's out. That's got 1. That's out. And that's out, yeah. That's the game. Well, not yet. ANS might have bought enough time, especially if these fleets are going to move in tight formation, which is going to severely slow them down and reduce their capacity to get to the point. Yeah, see, this is going the same speed as this, which is also going the same speed as this. This could noom forward and start capping points. But this guy wants to, Jordan wants to keep his fleets in tight formation, which means they're going to travel together at the slowest possible speed. So they might not be able to cap. Yeah, they're probably going to be able to cap fast enough to survive. Down 100 points, but their opponents have no desire to cap, it seems. They haven't really been using their ships for capping. Just been standing off and firing missiles, and unfortunately hasn't been doing that much. Which happens. So the standoff scout is taking some damage. Ah, it's flanking down towards Echo. That is not going to help. Oh, it is! I was going to say you're going to have to worry about this ship, but that's Sakmo's container ship, which is pretty much dead in the water. He's staying in the game, though. So if he detects this, he could dump some containers right on its face. He doesn't have any. He's out. Never mind. He's still going to detect this for his teammates. Assuming his radar is, yeah, Bridgemaster is still functioning. It is. Just trying to get something done with these. And I don't think that's going to do anything. Ocello's working so hard to get to Bravo, dude. He's probably in flank, too. But that's a good way to destroy what very little thrust you've got left. Although with a sun drive and a radar, that might not be a problem. So it's really going to come down to just the next few minutes to see who can cap what. Looks like Taleric's taking the center of the map. Sakmo's there too. Wait, what? Ah, Reddy must have left. That's why Sakmo's still in the game. He's piloting someone else's ships. Cleric's also moving some ships on to Echo. Sprinter's going to get painted and might be blasted from halfway across the map. Now those 250s are trying to get an angle. But he's trying to fire both sets of guns at him at once, which is a good way to get your ship to not turn the way you want it to. That's unfortunate. It'll treat those guns like turrets and try to get them both on target, which will result in neither of them having on target. Oh, we have another... I don't know what this is about. I've seen that a few times now. People's like, oh wow, the OSP went. I can't tell if it's sarcastic or not. It seems pretty sarcastic, but it's like, what are you talking about, dude? Speaking of what are you talking about, you're firing at a sprinter. Mad because bad would be rude, but that's kind of what that complaint boils down to. You're shooting at a sprinter that you probably don't have a lock. You might have a bullseye, yeah, quality track, which is good, but it's not a lock quality. Unless the yeah, it's not locked. So that's why. Oh, he's firing his Type 1's missiles. These are not AMMs. They are AMMs, and they're doing almost no damage. Yeah, these are AMMs. Because otherwise they'd be destroying this. But those frag type AMM warheads can't really get it done. Oh my god, is the ANS team gonna take it? It might. It just might. No, I don't think so. I don't think they're going to be able to maintain that one cap. And Jordan Giroux is going to take Charlie. Gun down this guy. And then that'll be the end of it. And that is a OSP victory. Good game. Really good game. I was kind of worried when Telerik was like, hey, be sure to upload this to the Discord. I was worried that it was going to be one of those games where I'm like, this is bad and I'm not uploading it. Sorry. Because that has happened a few times. Quite a few times, actually. Where you just, sometimes you just get games that like I wouldn't want to watch, so why would I upload them? But this has been a good match. It's been a real good match. I particularly enjoyed the Vauxhall versus container ship battle. I really was not sure who was going to win that, especially once the liners got involved and started fighting in the Ocellos. I think actually were what got involved, not the liners. And then the liners came over here and finished it off. Is this guy actually going to cap this point? Yeah, he's burning. He's just, again, flying in formation, which is going to slow your ships down significantly. They're going to move at the slowest speed. This could have gotten there. This could have gotten there way earlier in caps. But yeah, also complaining about how guns work. So that's definitely a new player. Hopefully he'll learn some things from this. And won't just embrace the anguish of being confused by the immensely deep systems of Nebulous. The battle of the ages. All right, when's the captains? When are the captains of these ships going to come out and duel on the nose of this tug with swords? That's what I want to see. When is that update coming? Mazur win. Sword fights at dawn. That's what this game needs. Oh, the snipe on the Axford, yeah. Yeah, that was pretty brutal. Got to bring PD on those big ships. They're juicy, juicy targets. And military, the OSP secured a victory quite a while ago. But again, points are what's important. That's what the match is over. This isn't Annihilation. I'm glad I'm not the only one that thought that Vauxhall team was doing work. Oh boy, there goes the sprinter. I think it might have caught edge of that fleet. I think LC and CL are used interchangeably. It's nice and confusing for everyone involved. I don't think they're the same thing because CL is like cruiser and LC is littoral combat. Yeah, Jordan, dude. I don't know what his problem was. I mean, I guess he didn't do that much. He was complaining about getting hit by missiles, but like they didn't do anywhere near the amount of damage they could have done. Let's take a look at this AAR. Specifically this guy. Yeah, these did fine. It's not amazing, but that's over 16k damage on 450 and mass drivers, which is pretty fucking good because mass drivers don't do that much raw damage. But for sniping these out, these Ocellos, unsurprisingly, did incredible. Ready 4 left super early. And Sakmo took up the sword and delivered violence and death with these Ocellos. 30k, which is good because his container play didn't work out that much. Mainly because he got hard countered by the light cruisers, burning hard towards them, and fill up with defenders and rebounds. Although he did just delete an Axford without it being able to participate in the fight at all, which is good. Like, that's really good. That's a big deal. That's it. That's probably half of their direct combat capability, just whoop right out of the fight because it was overgunned and under point defensed, and of course got punished for that. Big deal, big deal. Telerik just had trouble getting eyes on his opponents. Like he had good plays, went to alpha, and then looped around the backside of the map, but it was just always... That's the problem with Aorta, and I've had this exact same experience in line ships in this, well, a very similar build, not the exact build, but a very similar build, where you just can't get anyone. Anyone you come up on, especially if you're chasing Vauxhalls, don't chase Vauxhalls, I think is the lesson here. Because Vauxhalls, they can just run. They can just leave. They're really fast, especially Raider Vauxhalls, and that's what most people are using these days is Raiders, and just toggling on that flank drive and not turning it off. And it's effective. I mean, you're going to run out of health everywhere else before your thrusters die, and these did good damage. I mean, that's... What? Oh, wrong thing. 22k plus another 2.5. And then this thing doing incredible scouting. It never got spotted somehow. That EWR got real close to spotting the Surveyor of Truth. Good Halo names on all these. I mean, these are more like Covenant names than UNSC names. Harbinger Transgression, Rapturous Spirit, Surveyor of Truth, Undying Conversion, Valorous Salvation. Yeah, those are definitely Covenant names. They have religious connotations. But still, I like this. I like this fleet. I like this setup. I really appreciate the names. The elbow got hit right on the funny bone. Yeah, that's because it's kind of like complaining. Well, yeah, Ocellos are tough because they're just slightly lighter versions of Axfords. So they do just straight beat Vauxhalls. Because of course they do. Especially with those 450s. And Vauxhall 250 does not do well against that Ocello armor. 230 damage. I want to know how this thing dealt any damage. That might actually be counting its explosion. I mean, that's the only thing that makes any sense, right? Because nothing else shot. There was no offensive. Yeah, no shoot-to-ship engagements conducted. There was no offensive output. So, I don't know. Yikes. Drip Gecko's missile plan just not working out. This is what I was saying earlier. You really, really, really need to know the limits and the capabilities of your missiles. Just going to the testing range isn't enough. You gotta skirmish or use multiplayer with your buddies. I have two friends that I test things on and who use me for testing, and that's really what you want to do. Say, hey, you want to start up a multiplayer game and just like have your big ships float around the map and let me shoot at them to see what my weapons will do in a situation. Because the problem with the testing range is it's 4 clicks out and you're very rarely going to be engaging at that range, and the other ships aren't moving and they're angled directly at you and you're angled directly at them, and it's very, that is the most optimal conditions for a weapon that you can get. So you really need to test on real maps. Oh, it's hard to do. Maybe that should be something that we do on the Discord. I know there's a little like tutorial group of people that I've joined, and we're trying to like educate people and help people get better at this. Maybe that's something else we should consider doing, is having like testing range club, if that makes any sense. It could be something that could be hosted out of the shipyard channels, with people just like bringing really absurdly gigantic point fleets specifically to be shot at in a variety of different situations. Post in the comments, I guess, if you'd be interested in that, or DM me on Discord if you have any other thoughts on that. Either of those forms work. But I think that would be really useful for anyone who likes to experiment with their ships. Ah. Yeah. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to post this one soon. This, you all don't need to see this. The video is over. The video's been over for a few minutes now. The show is over. Go home. Goodbye. Farewell, Aviters, and goodbye.